Hello, I'm Azai. Welcome back to Baldr Sky, Dive 1. So, I just finished up recording some more stuff for Amayui. I got to another choice to take a look at Kuna's diary and whatnot, you know? So I was like, yeah, I'll do another recording episode here. Or not episode, but you know, a brief recording session. And then after a couple more skips, turns out there was another New Game Plus stuff that I found. So we recorded a battle for a New Game Plus stuff. I gotta say though, the battle in the game is just still not very difficult. Like, I don't know if it's gonna ramp up, but I've also been leveling up the units quite well too during the New Game Plus stuff. But yeah, I guess at this point I'm just doing like finishing touches for. I'm basically doing cleanup right for Amayui. But yeah, I just came back from the gym before that and ate some food, so here I am with some more Baldr Sky. So let me just do my last episode recap. So in the last episode, we finished off a really lengthy chapter, Prisoner of War, Chinatsu's chapter 11, like chapter, right? Or route chapter. Like, it was really long. It was detailing about us as we were captured in Midspire. We went to see Rain's dad. He was giving us, like, thanks for protecting Rain. The fact that Rain is alive is all that matters to him, it seems. And he said that we also taught him to be, you know, at least follow rules and whatnot. And we met up with Chinatsu there, of course, because we were saving her. And turns out that she's also a lieutenant. That's serving. I don't know whether or not she's serving the colonel directly, like the director, or Rain's dad directly, but she seems to have a close relationship with him. So they might be very close, right? She might have actually been appointed by him, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, things happened the same way as in Rain's route. So Midspire was actually attacked by Dominion, both in real life and also on their ice. And yeah, we had to help them out, and we were able to do so. But turns out Father Gregory was also part of the what is it? Part of the assault force that were attacking him, and he got Anon. And when we were chasing after him, what happened was Masa and. At that point, was Masa's unit already killed yet? I think they have. They have been killed, right? They have been killed. But yeah, we met up with Major Shizzle and Mohawk and our dad too before that. But yeah. Okay, I'm remembering. I'm remembering now. After we beat up the things in the ice for Midspire, we actually got contacted by Chinatsu. Because before that, we were just with Rain, right? We were helping with Rain. And we met up with Shizzle and then Mohawk and our dad. And Chinatsu contacted us. Turns out that Masa's squad got obliterated. And he was very angry and he wants revenge. And that was when we met up with Father Gregory and chased after him to a Dominion construct or a Dominion instance. And in that area, we fought Dominion people, of course. We also got some more info about what the hell it is. Well, I still don't think we got any info about the ARC project, but he was kind of telling us that what ARC was doing, which is basically like making NPCs like humans or having a simulacra, is the light part of their darkness. Which is, I guess, killing people and making them as wired ghosts. I don't know. I still have no idea what the ARC project is. We'll have to see. But that was the revelation that we got. And during that time when we were fighting against a lot of Dominion units, Masa and Chinatsu got separated. They were being tormented by these crazy amounts of like Sora NPCs. I guess Ku NPCs. And Masa got brainwashed. I don't know how. He seems to believe that everything's a simulation. And yeah, after we saved them in Shinatsu, he just went haywire and tried to kill Shizzle and got obliterated too. And now this is after we set to Rain that we're gonna stay with Shinatsu here in Goat, or Midspire, I guess, and we send her off. So yeah, that was the like recap of what happened last time. A pretty long recap, actually, now that I think back. A day has passed since the incident, and silence is returning to the Midspire.
とはいえ、今回の損失は大変なものだ。
Director Isao whispers that while looking through the window, it feels like the chaotic day made him age a few years. I still think what happened with Masa was a bit forced, to be honest. Like, at least until we understand what it is that Dominion did to Masa, I feel like it was very forced. Why did that happen to Masa and not to Chinatsu, right? Just because this is her route doesn't mean that she can't die, you know?
君には助けられた。感謝するよ、門倉注意。
But maybe they weren't brave enough to do that, right? Maybe they wanted Chinatsu to still be alive.
いえ。娘に代わって詫びを言わせてくれ。本当に申し訳なく思っている。
Rain escaped the Midspire alongside Major Shizzle and the rest. I always told her that she's free to abandon me, but having it actually happen does make me feel kinda lonely.
今度こそ見限った。もう娘でも何でもない。
彼女には彼女なりの考えがあるのでしょう。
What bullshit? You were the one that forced her to do so. Why not be honest, Ko?
君もエイダと同じことを言う。しかし、私にはその考えとやらがさっぱりわからんよ。
He sighs and rubs his temple. I mean, if the other person doesn't want to open up and talk about their feelings, of course you're not gonna be able to understand. I'm giving that one more chance too right now, director. But even I'm not sure whether this is gonna lead to like salvation or just more disappointment. I do think if I'm disappointed one more time, I probably will never open up ever again. At least not to people, right? I'll still open up to myself, but after like finding out just how tough it is to open up to people, it does seem like I was still fooling myself, even though I said that I opened up to myself. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. He looks less like the director of Goat and more like a troubled father.
レインからは家の事情は聞かされたかね。
はい。大筋だけですが。
何か我が妻エイダのことは言っておったかね。正直な話を聞かせてもらいたい。
レインは母親のことでひどく長官を恨んでいるようでした。
See, the thing is, guys, I feel like in games like this, the amount of bitterness is actually not as much as in real life, you know? And I feel like Rain's dad, at least, is a very reasonable person, unlike real life. That's why every time I see, like, family relationships that are portrayed as being broken in games, I'm like, wow, this is way too idealistic. The dad just wants to be understood. And I guess, like, in Rain's dad's case here, he actually does want to understand Rain. But Rain was the one that was closing his heart, right? But in my case, my dad doesn't even want to understand me. So what's the point of actually opening up my heart to him, right?
確かに私は夫としても父親としても優秀であったとは言えないだろうな。
Yeah, the characters in games are always too reasonable. Sadly, in real life, it's not always the case.
が 私を恨むのは筋違いというものだ。あれはエイダなどではない。エイダを真似ただけの醜悪なプログラムに過ぎない。どうしてそんな簡単なことがあの子にはわからないのか。
I mean, she understands it now. That's why she can actually pull the trigger and kill those things. I guess having Rain escape was a real shock for him. There's no real reason for him to grumble about his family to me. He seems to be aware of that and he quickly fixes his posture.
すまない。つまらない愚痴を聞かせてしまったな。
いえ、
君はエイジとはうまくやっているのかね。
正直な話をすればうまくいっているとは言えません。私も少年時代は亡き母のことで随分と父を恨んだものです。
もし私なら病床の妻を置き去りにして戦場になど出かけたりはしない。
It's easy to say that though, Isao. It's not easy when you're the one that has the life.
いや、失言だった。たとえ八重君のような女性が妻でも、私もやはり戦場に出かけたのかもしれないな。
What is his reason though?
すまん。今日の私はみっともない姿ばかり見せているな。
He heaves a long sigh.
レインは去ったが、君は残ってくれた。とりあえずそのことを感謝しよう。しかし聞くが、どうして君は脱出しなかったのかね。
I definitely can't say that his words left an impression on me. It's too smarmy. What the heck is smarmy?
あまり感心できる理由ではありません。私はまだアークを信じていますし。
正直な男だな、君は。
極めて個人的な理由です。胸を張って長官殿にお話しできるようなものではありません。
It's really hard to say that I just wanted to stay with Chinatsu.
まあよかろう。焦らずとも、いずれ私の話も君なら理解してくれるはずだと信じている。だが我々には時間がない。君の決断を早めるために、あえて機密の一端を君に明かそう。
He turns away from me and makes the screen display a world map. It has red dots all over it like some sort of skin disease.
この赤い点は一体。
アセンブラが流出した場合のシミュレーションだ。
I watch as the map is painted completely crimson. I can't help but stare. The sight makes me remember Great Christmas, making me shake.
やっと状況を認識してくれたようだな。安心したまえ。これは最悪の状況の一つでしかない。現状、これを防ぐために我々は活動しているのだ。
そうですか。
ただ一度発動したアセンブラは、先ほどのシミュレーションの通り、見る間に世界を覆い尽くすだろう。灰色のクリスマスの日ではない。今度は世界中が。しかし、幸いなことに未だドミニオンはコマンダーを完成させていないようだ。
コマンダーが完成してしまったら。
そうなる前に、だからこそ鈴代市を完全封鎖し、ドミニオンに総攻撃をかけているのだ。
I guess he does know what comprises Assembler. The Commander, Replicator, and what else? I forgot.
しかし、正直な話をすれば、私はドミニオン壊滅は目前に迫ったと思っている。おそらく、一回の総攻撃で彼らを駆逐できるだろう。
So Good probably already knows where Dominion's base is. I feel like a bit of weight has been removed from my mind. No matter who does this, the death of Dominion is a welcome thing.
むしろ、私が危惧しているのは、この戦いが終わった後のことだ。
次の戦争でしょうか。
そうだ。今回の事件でアセンブラのデータはかなり流出してしまった。
The future, huh? I do wonder what does happen in the future, since in both Nanoha's and Rain's route, we saw what happened to the present, but it kind of ended pretty quickly, right?
もし反統合勢力に属する者が自力でコマンダーを完成すれば、また破滅的な戦争が始まるかもしれん。
Technically, in Nanoha's route, it was a happy ending.
またそれがテロリストの手に渡れば、世界中のどこでも灰色のクリスマスを引き起こせる。かつての核戦争危機を上回る危機的状況だ。
一度開発できたテクノロジーなら、いずれは誰かが同じものを生み出せるでしょうからね。
当然統合は規制と監視を続けるが、相手は目に見えないナノ物質。根本的な解決策は一つしかない。
Director Isao's words make me remember what Chinatsu told me.
そこで AI を抑圧するですか。
渚注意から聞いたのかね。
私もドレクサラー機関を追っていた電脳将校ですから。
Just to make sure Chinatsu doesn't get in trouble, I make sure to make my answer vague.
まあいいだろう。その通り。コマンダーは AI がなければ機能しないことが分かっている。コマンダーは下位のユニットを制御するために AI の持つ量子的通信ネットワークを使用している。その機能を抑圧すればアセンブラは増殖ができなくなる。
It's so weird, the fact that the AI has something to do with what we're making. It's actually quite weird that they have anything to do, yeah.
しかし、量子通信ネットワークは遮断困難です。抑圧などできるものなのでしょうか。
Jamming it with our current tech is a real challenge. After all, quantum effects don't have a path for us to block. The best we can do right now is make small isolated areas and read minuscule amounts of info using squids as large as warships. Yeah, I feel like this is a bit weird. The fact that what we're making, you know, nanomaterials or nanomachines or whatever, assembler is basically a nanomachine, right? The fact that it has... It needs the AI's quantum thing to do anything. I don't know. I mean, I guess the concept of nanomachines and stuff isn't really... Like, it's sci-fi, right? So I guess they can spout any bullshit they want. But to me, it just doesn't make sense, to be honest, but I'll let it slide. Considering that makes me realize just how big of a deal Mitsfire's blocking ability is. It's downright paranoid. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention we met up with... or not met up. We saw the Baldr system in Mitsfire's ice. And it was making a really large virus.
具体的な方法は教えることができない。しかし、我々はそれを可能だと考えている。事実、その手段を携え、鈴代に来たのだ。
I suddenly remembered the Baldr system I saw deep in the structure. Is this method the large machine I saw there? Not like I can ask about it.
それをアークに対して使用するつもりなのでしょうか。
あくまで最終手段としてな。
Director Isao makes the screen change. It now displays the mesh-like AI network and the S-class AIs comprising it. Suzushiro has Eve. The domain she controls cover most of this state and even extends to the neighboring ones.
まさかイブの物理的破壊を考えているのですか。そんなことをしてもネットワークは破壊できないと思いますが。
無論そんなことは考えていない。第一、イブを物理的に破壊するには鈴代氏そのものを怪人に返す必要があるだろう。
Eve is the main structure of the AI network covering the whole world. One of the reasons why ARC can claim to be the world's biggest corporation is because Eve is located at its foundation. Her physical body is buried deep underground, where she's supporting herself, self-improving and multiplying. It's a sacred ground where humans have no power. She's an AI system on an entirely different level than the mother we knew. Even if the entire world was scorched by the Gungnir network and all of humanity was exterminated, the AI network would live on indefinitely. At least, that's what people are saying.
君がアークを信じる気持ちは理解しているつもりだ。だが、今回のアセンブラをめぐる事件に、アーク社が何らかの形で関与しているのは間違いない。見たまえ、苦労の末に、スクイドがサルベージュしたアナンとセーラ社長の通話記録だ。
The monitor displays a noise-filled scene. It shows my aunt, the one and only President Sarah Tachibana.
ここら辺で手打ちをしないかね、社長。
おっしゃる意味がよくわかりませんが。
市内に潜伏している傭兵部隊。あれのクライアントが君たちアークだと分かっている。
我が社も自衛の必要がありますから。それに彼らは傭兵ではなく PMC です。
私はね、これでも君に感謝しておるのだよ。アーク社の存在がなければ我が市の経済は成り立っていないと言って過言ではない。かつてこの国は数多くの大企業を生み出した。だがそれらの多くは国外へと拠点を移し、生まれ故郷を見捨ておった。
それはすでに歴史の話。市長が生まれる前の話ではありませんか。
しかしその歴史を超え、橘財閥は戻ってきてくれたではないかね。いや、正確には君とアーク社が戻ってきてくれた。そればかりか、市の繁栄のためにさまざまな情報を提供してくれた。
そうせねばさまざまな認可をくださらなかったでしょうからね。
この鈴代氏、いやこの国のことを思えば我々は争うべきではないと思わないかね。我々は同じ先祖を持つ兄弟のようなものだ。
今時民族主義ですか、市長。
強情もいい加減にしたまえ。外部勢力がこの国を乗っ取ろうとしているのは君もよく知っているだろうに。
通常回線ではお話ししたくないこともあります。市長、お話を続けたければ時と場所を変えませんか。
All that's left now is noise.
分かっていると思うが、我々はアークを信用していない。少なくとも彼らが灰色のクリスマスについて何かを隠しているのは確実だ。
I mean, that's not really proof that they're responsible for anything, though. They know about something, sure, but it doesn't seem like they're responsible for anything.
君も本当は何かを知っているのではないかね。
I do, actually. I know that Mother was in an abnormal state, and that Ark was hiding that in the S. However, I can't bring myself to tell him anything about that. Holiday? Are you fucking kidding me? Chapter 12, and it's called Holiday? After the talk with Director Isao, I walked through the HQ's hallway. There are maintenance hatches open here and there, and the engineers are working hard to fix the place. And so I come close to the CDF mission room. A few CDF members are standing there with gloomy expressions. The consoles there each have bouquets on them. Masa is gone. There's no point in remembering that. But people's hearts aren't just machines with countless on and off switches on them. Masa, why did I...
ああ、任せておけ。無事に生還できたらまた飲もうぜ。くそ！
I'm not denying Ko's feelings towards Masa, his emotions towards Masa. But I do think, as I said, Masa's death was a bit forced. Right? If they really wanted to kill off Masa, I think killing off Chinatsu there also makes sense. since it means that they both had the same sort of thing implanted on them. My question is, why Masa only and not Chinatsu even though they're subjected to the same thing? Unable to contain my rage, I punch a wall. Why the hell did I even take him to a place like that? I hear a familiar voice and feel a touch on my shoulder.
千夏か。
こうさ、なんて言っていいのかわからないけどさ。
She's being considerate of me. That's all the reason I need to get a grip.
大丈夫。昨べ枕を濡らして落ち着いたよ。
そう。
お前こそもう起き上がって大丈夫なのか？
ああ、寝てると余計に辛いし、ベッドだって足りないんだ。おちおち寝ていられないよ。
そうか。
After the mission, Chinatsu was taken to an army hospital. I took her there right after Rain left. Remembering what I saw there makes me depressed. The place was full of those who flatline or receive severe neural damage. And Chinatsu was muttering something in my arms.
すまん。俺がもっと早く駆けつければ。
何を言ってるのさ。こうはちゃんと私を助けてくれたじゃない。
She forms a slightly forced smile.
それに、私は何もされていない。裸に向かれようが、叩かれようが、どうせ擬態なんだしね。
What should I tell her now? Words are way too powerless to console those who receive physical damage.
私こそごめんね、こう。私、こうに山ほど借りを作っちゃってるね。
借りなんかない。俺こそお前にはすまない思いばかりしている。
じゃあ、お互いこれでおあいこ。とはいかないのが難しいところだよね。
She sighs and forms a wry grin. She's slowly starting to act more and more like she did in Seishu. And I think she's starting to make me feel the same way she did back then.
一つだけ聞いて。マサのことはこうの責任じゃないから。
Her expression is completely serious. Of course it's not my fault. And it's also not Major Shizzle's. Clearly it's the one that brainwashed him.
戦闘記録を見て確かめた。あれはこうの責任じゃない。責めるべき相手はドミニオン。自分を責めてもマサは喜んでくれないよ。
分かってるさ。だからって罪悪感は晴れてくれない。
私だって私を許せない。もしこうに責任があるとすれば私だって同罪さ。
I still don't like when people, you know, say stuff like that though. Masa wouldn't want you to blame yourself. The dead don't speak, Chinatsu. That is something that I definitely feel like is an argument that I really dislike. We don't know. She tightly grasps my hand.
私らきっと鈍感になってたんだろうね。死人ばかり見すぎて古い身内が死ぬってことがどんな意味か忘れてたのかもしれない。
I picture the faces of my classmates and the people of Seishu Academy City. I won't get to see 99% of them ever again.
そうだな。お互い本気でなれるなんてありえないのにな。
I grasp her hand back. You'd be surprised how adaptive humans are, Ko. Chinatsu and I share the same heartache, which I find to be a minor salvation.
渚千夏注意。至急第3テストルームに出頭してください。
いけない。もうこんな時間だったんだ。
医療テストか？
軍のテストさ。まあいろいろと事情があってね。
The way she says it makes it clear that it's not something she can tell me. I choose to say nothing. She makes a faint smile and whispers into my ear.
配置転換さ。うまくいけば私新鋭機のパイロットに選ばれるかもしれないんだ。
諜報活動から身を引くんだ。
まあ荒事には違いないけどね。でも潜入任務とかなくなると楽はできるよね。他にも候補生がいるから
確実な話じゃないけれど。
I do think your infiltrations or your spy missions aren't really the best use case of you anyway, Chinatsu. I feel like you're more of a straightforward person.
千夏だったら大丈夫。お前の腕前は俺が保証してやるさ。
あんたのお墨付きなら心強いね。
We look at each other and smile. If our missions become even a bit safer, I'm willing to welcome the change with open arms.
じゃあ頑張ってこいよ、千夏。
あ、
She raises one of her hands and draws herself closer to me. She gives me a kiss on the cheek again.
お前。
昔からこれが私のお礼だから。
With a faint smile, Chinatsu runs off. I feel like her cheeks were actually a bit red. It's evening now.
ここで暮らせって。
Rain. I almost feel like she's about to walk in through the door.
そう。長官の恋でここを使ってくれだってさ。
It's so weird that we're using this house. Chinatsu was done with the tests and came with me.
そうか。
It's pretty big for a single person.
寂しいよね。やっぱり。
いつかは来る日が来たってだけさ。あいつにはいつでも去っていいと言ってやったからな。
だからって寂しくないわけないだろう。こうは長年の相棒に情を移さずにいられるほどクールじゃない。バカだよ、あの子。なんやかんや言ってうまくやれそうな気がしてたのにな。
Ko force her to do so. I dislike the fact that they're actually blaming Rain here. Chinatsu sighs. She probably wanted to get along with Rain too. Now that I think about it, ever since coming to Midspire, I never actually saw Chinatsu have a single friendly chat with anyone from Goat. The reason this happened is probably because they don't know how to write off Rain without her doing so. You know, without her actually being gone from that like part. Or maybe they do. Maybe they're actually keeping it for a separate route. I don't know. This isn't something I could have imagined back in our school years. But does she actually not have a single friend here?
何？人の顔をまじまじ見てさ。
いや、千夏は腹が減ってないのかって思っただけさ。
だったら飯でも食いに行こう。それとも私に飯作らせる気かい？
それもいいかもな。
勇気あるね、あんた。油の味しかしなくても知らないぞ。何そんな顔してんだよ。冗談だよ、冗談。
ああ、そうだな。どこか食いに行こうか。お前のおすすめのところで。
Chinatsu opens her eyes in surprise. She stares directly at me before speaking in a bashful manner.
ありがとう。
またありがとうか。その話は昼間に済んだはずだろ。
その話じゃないけど、まあいっか。
She beams, takes me by the arm, and drags me out. After having dinner at the restaurant she chose, we go take a walk in the park.
こここんなに治安がいいのにさ。夜になると誰も公園にいないんだね。
みんな規則正しい生活をしてるんだよ、きっと。
Not to mention that Midspire just isn't suited for the nightlife. When it's dark, the only places still open are the bars aimed at the soldiers. The artificial night here has a similar chill to a dark warehouse.
でもこうしてるとなんか懐かしいね。
Chinatsu is actually looking into the past. I'm slightly astonished, but act like it's nothing and just respond to her comment.
ああ、初デートは公園だったし、公園じゃないけど、よく空き地で話をしてたっけな。
そうだね。懐かしいな。今から思えば純情だったよね。手をつないだだけでお互い顔を真っ赤にしたりしてさ。
She puts her hand over mine. The act itself makes me happy, but the coldness of her cyborg body makes me feel a bit sad as well.
さすがに今は真っ赤にはならないんだね。
まあな、大人だからな。
What does being an adult even mean, though, Ko? Is it because of all the experiences we've accumulated? Or what? Is it just our physical body?
でも 脈拍がちょっとだけ速くなってるね。
まあ男だからな。
そっか。ちゃんと女と認識しているんだ。
当たり前だ。そういうお前だって女として振る舞っているじゃないか。
そりゃ数年前まで私は女だったからね。でもつい最近までまだ脳みそは。
Oh, sorry about that. My my cable actually hit the space bar.
あの頃もこうやって一歩ずつ確かめればよかったんだろうな。
She looks at me while whispering suggestive words. It makes my heart react way stronger than an adult heart should.
まだ約束思い出せない？
ああ、思い出そうとはしてるんだけどな。
だったら思い出さなくていいや。
We both fall silent, but it doesn't feel awkward at all. It's a bashful silence, the one I felt many times when dealing with her in the past. We grasp each other's hands like we used to.
ねえ、一つお願いしてもいいかな。
なんだ？
明日暇なんだ。だからつまらないデートにでも誘ってくれない？
いきなりだな。いいけど任務があるとか言ってなかったか？
いきなり休暇だったんだよ。昼まで寝てからでいいからさ。それから飯を食ってミッドスパイア見物でもしよう。
Guess that's why the chapter is called Holiday. I guess this is like our brief respite before going back into war again. Or I don't know. Maybe it's not even a brief respite and during the holiday we're gonna have to face something.
いや、わかったよ。そのプランで決定だ。
But I have a feeling this is probably where we're gonna probably have the romance H scene with her.
ありがとう。
She smiles faintly and puts more strength into her grip.
ほら、遅いぞ、こう。
Chinatsu's already waiting for me where we promised to meet.
すまん。急いで寮から駆けつけたんだけど。
冗談だってば。実は私も今来たところだよ。
So, what did she want to talk about? I normally ask that aloud without a problem, but now I can barely open my mouth. I glance at her and see her stare back at me with a weird smile.
とりあえず喫茶店にでも入って話でもするか。
そうだね。でもどうせなら人気のない場所がいいな。
とはいえ、どこかに出かけるにしてはもうこんな時間だし。
We're only having a normal talk, but my heartbeat is stupidly fast.
私、菜の葉に電話して今日は実家に帰るって言ってあるんだけどな。
Man, there's definitely something with me because I never feel what Ko's feeling, right? It's probably normal to feel what Ko's feeling about someone, but I definitely never felt any sort of affection or love towards anyone. Even if they gave me like some sort of affection or anything. At the moment, I just don't have that capacity. My heart skips a beat and I don't know how to respond. Chinatsu silently looks at me, and it feels like she's asking, well, what are you gonna do?
わかった。俺もまさに連絡を入れておくよ。
ごめんね、無理言っちゃって。
いつものことだ。お前に引っ張り回されるのも悪くないさ。
ありがとう。じゃあ今日はお言葉に甘えて引っ張り回してあげる。
She tightly grasps my arm. I can smell her scent again, but this time it feels somewhat different.
香水でもつけているのか？
まあね。
Chinatsu bashfully forms a beaming smile.
こう起きて、こう。
Someone shakes me, waking me from the dream of the past.
今起きるからレイン。いって
寝ぼけてるんじゃないよ、こう。
いっててすまん。
Oh yeah, Rain left this place.
寝坊するにも程があるって。 今何時だと思っているんだい？
9?
もう昼過ぎかよ。
Damn, that's really late.
そういうこと。昨日の約束忘れてるわけじゃないよね。
Right, I promised to take her out on a date.
無論忘れちゃいないさ。夢に見るぐらいしっかりと覚えてる。
よし、じゃあ飯を作るから。起きた起きた。
Chinatsu forcefully pulls me out of bed.
お待たせか。
She brings coffee and loads of pasta to the table.
ありがとう。嬉しいよ。朝、昼から飯を作って待っててくれるなんてさ。
私から誘ったからね。これぐらいのサービスはするさ。
Chinatsu was good at pasta. It smells the same as it did, and I'm almost drooling just looking at it.
久々に作ったから自信ないけど、まずかったら残しちゃっていいからね。
どんな飯でもソイレントグリーンに比べりゃ天国さ。
I expectantly take the pasta into my mouth.
あ、ちょっと味が薄かったかな。
いや、いけるよこれ。
The taste isn't weak, it's non-existent, and that's despite her taste testing it over and over.
ごめん。やっぱしばらく料理してないとダメだよね。
It's non-existent. There's no way. Did she forgot to give salt? With a troubled expression, she adds some white powder into her coffee.
おい、千夏。
That's salt, not sugar. I try to warn her, but have to stop mid-sentence. I mean, she's actually drinking the salted coffee like it's nothing.
どうしたの？
その砂糖壺、俺にも取ってくれ。
Thankfully, there's not too much salt left. I pour all the powder into my coffee.
うわ、そんなに入れたら糖尿病になるよ。
いいんだ。疲れた時は甘いものが一番だ。
I feel like doing stuff like this just makes her feel even worse though, Ko, if she finds out. I'll just pickle my tongue in salt. I gulp down the painfully salty coffee. Done with brunch, we head out to the city. We go down to a lower level and follow the brick road lined by trees to arrive at a tidy-looking shopping district.
ここは本当に平和だな。
だね。
I guess in Rain's route, we sorta had that date too in Midspire before everything happened. We just stand and look around. This place looks so prosperous that it feels like a whole other world compared to what's outside.
そういや、そろそろクリスマスだったんだな。
ここの連中はまだクリスマスを祝えるんだね。
そうだな。
To the survivors of Greek Christmas, Christmas is a very difficult thing to celebrate. I'm among those people, of course. Chinatsu shares my pain, and I guess misery really does love company, since that makes me feel strange.
歩こうか。
Chinatsu grasps my hand. She gives me a considerate smile, and we both start walking through the town.
こうやってコート歩いてると懐かしいよ。ねえ、一緒に倉浜に行ったことを覚えてる？私が強引にこう誘ってさ。
Kurahama was that place where we first saw Rain, and we helped her out, right? Where we helped her out with Gilbert. As we talk, the memories of that date come back to me in vivid detail.
ああ、そうだったな。電車で倉浜に着く頃にはすっかり日が暮れていたな。で、次はどうするんだ？
じゃあとりあえず軽くご飯でも食べて、次は何をするかを決めよっか。
You know, Chinatsu during the flashback has a more high-pitched voice.
ああ、
Just realized it.
お前は俺と話がしたいからわざわざこんなところまで引っ張ってきたんだよな。
そうだけど。
まさか話ってのは口実で単に遊びたかっただけじゃないだろうな。
両方だよ。ただ相談しちゃった後だと能天気に遊べないかもしれないから。
そんなに深刻な相談なのかよ。
うん。私、こうに言わなくちゃいけないことがあるんだ。如月寮のみんなにも言わなくちゃいけないけど、 その前にこうに聞いてほしかったんだ。
So it's not a confession. That makes me both relieved and disappointed. Wait, if it's not a confession, doesn't that mean that something pretty troublesome is going on?
わかった。何でも言ってみろよ。
ありがとう。やっぱこうはそう言ってくれると思ってた。
Her face lights up, making me feel relieved.
じゃあやっぱり軽くご飯でも食べて次の予定を決めようよ。
ああ、わかった。ファーストフードでいいならおごってやる。
いいよ。今日は私が引っ張ってきたんだから。さあさあ、おごっちゃうぞ、富岳生くん。そうか、覚えてたんだ、あの時のこと。
I guess that was a different date.
正確に言えば今思い出したんだけどな。
私も忘れてたよ。ついこの前まで昔のことは忘れようとしていたからね。
She puts on a distant look and looks at the artificial sky. Her squinted eyes makes it clear that she's thinking about the past.
こんな風に素直に懐かしめるなんて思ってなかった。思い出してもどうにもならないことだって。
きっと俺もそうだったんだと思う。むしろ忘れようとしていたような気がするよ。
Maybe I did too.
それでもいざなくしちゃうと思い出したくてたまらなくなるから不思議なものだよ。
I don't know. As I said at the very beginning of the playthrough, if I were to actually lose my memories, I don't think that would be me anymore. And I would want that me to not be burdened by the current me, right? But I guess the people around me wouldn't be able to let him go.
難儀だよね、人間ってのは。
Chinatsu scratches her head, making me notice something.
お前手から血が出てないか？
Chinatsu turns confused and looks at her arm. There's a red fluid leaking from her glove.
道理でムズムズすると思った。手袋のチャックが肌を噛んでたみたい。
Is that really it?
ちょっと見せてみろお前。
I hastily grab her arm and see that the flesh of her palm was caught in the zipper.
お前どうしてこんなの気づかないんだよ。
え？だって慌てて着替えてたからつい。
手当てしなくちゃって普通の医薬品じゃダメなんだよな。
そんなに慌てなくても大丈夫だって。見た目はグロいけど人工皮膚が裂けただけだから、ほっとけばすぐに塞がるよ。
しかし
驚かせてごめん。でも本当に痛くもないし、だから心配しないで。
She smiles in an attempt to calm me down.
なあ千夏、一つ聞いていいか？
何？
お前なんとかしてクローニングは受けられないのか？
それが難しいのはこうも知ってるんじゃない？
Chinatsu slightly looks away, seemingly upset.
私は体の大半をなくしてるんだ。認可はなかなか下りないし、お金だって山ほどかかる。
でもお前はゴートの将校じゃないか。言っちゃなんだが地位だって金だってあるだろ。
ゴートの将校だからかな。やっぱ戦争するなら擬態は便利だよ。この体じゃなかったら何回戦死してたかわかんないしね。
だからって痛みも感じないような体じゃ生活に支障があるんじゃないか？
全く感じないわけじゃない。それに私の生活は戦争だけだよ。
She makes a good point, girl. Like, I get the implication, though.
それにまだ戦いは終わっていない。なのに私だけ贅沢をするわけにはいかないしね。
Yeah, just because that's what she wants doesn't mean she can.
贅沢ってお前な。
またそんな顔しない。だから私が苦しくないって言ってるのに、あんたがそんな辛そうな顔してどうするのよ。目と耳はいいんだよ。安心もできるし、普通じゃ聞こえない音も聞こえるし。ただすごくデジタルだけどね。
I don't know how to respond.
ねえこう、もしよかったら何もなかったようにデートを続けてくれると嬉しいんだけどな。
ああ、わかった。今の話は忘れてくれ。
There's no point in continuing this talk. If she wants me to ignore her body, then I'll do just that. At least for now.
退屈なデートだな。
懐かしいセリフありがとうよ。
こうに文句を言ってるんじゃないよ。
She has every reason to complain. We had enough of this over-hygienic archaeology after just a few hours.
ミッドスパイアの連中ってどこでデートしてんだろうね。ネットにも入り浸ってないのに。
さあな、図書館とか美術館とかで古風でおはいそな休日を楽しんでいらっしゃるんじゃないか。
お互い育ちが良くないよね。
She smiles for a moment, then makes a serious face.
でもこういうのも慣れなくちゃいけないんだよね。ゴートの一員としては。
仮想がなくても退屈しない生活か。俺たちはガキの頃からネットに使ってるんだ。今さら先祖返りなんかできないさ。
私はこうほど昔からネットに使ってたわけじゃないよ。
She lightly grimaces as though challenging my words, then takes my hand and drags me away.
もう少し街を歩いてみようよ。きっと私らでも楽しめそうな場所がどこかにあるからさ。
いやあ、もう少し気合を入れて散策してみるか。
This reminds me of the past. Shinatsu dragged me around restaurants and game centers in...
この時間からデートなんてなんか大人になった気分だよね。
とはいえ、そろそろ俺たちには居づらい時間帯になってきちゃったみたいだな。
You know, a part of me probably wanted to be like a robot like Chinatsu. Not being able to feel anything. I used to think that, you know, that might not necessarily be that bad. But I'm not sure. That's probably because most of the time what I felt was not really good feelings, right? It was mostly because what I feel is like sadness and grief and all that. But at this point I'm not even sure if I'm, what do you call it, like ready to experience like happiness, or if I can even understand happiness in the way that normal people do. But as I said, I'll try, because that's the first step, right? As the night goes on, the town gradually starts feeling strangely more mature.
まさかこうだからもう帰ろうとか言わないよね。
さすがに夜遊びはまずいだろう。飲み屋に入るわけにもいかないし、行くところが。
貧乏学生じゃホテル代も辛そうだもんね。
金があっても行かねえよ。それよりそろそろ本題に入らないか。
そうだね。
A shadow looms over her smile. I guess it really is that bad.
公園でも行く？
この時間の公園はカップルでいっぱいだぞ。
私は別に気にしないけど。
カップルだけじゃない。この前みたいに物騒な連中が居座ってるかもしれないし。
Just like before, he's talking about Gilbert.
まあ二人きりになりたいんだし、公園はなしか。そうだ。じゃああそこに行こうよ。
She points toward a shining net cafe sign.
こう？ちょっと。あのさ、こう。ちゃんと話を聞いてる？
I return to the present and find Chinatsu staring at me.
すまん、ぼーっとしてた。
はあ、まったく。変わってないね、あんたはさ。
That pause really made me realize that I should be saving my game more often. The sound announcing the evening hours rings out around us, and the town is gradually covered by an orange veil.
ああ、何もしてないのにもうこんな時間。
焦ることはないさ。大人の時間はいよいよこれからだ。
大人の時間。
She winks impishly. Seeing her act like she used to makes my heart react like I used to.
とはいえ、ただでさえ遊び場がないのに、夜になったら本格的に行き場がなくなりそうだよな。
まあ、とりあえず飲もうか。
She gives me one of her old grins and wraps her arms around mine.
おい、夕方から早速か？
I retort, but I don't actually have anything against the idea.
しかし、どこに行く？多分この前の酒場は出入り禁止になってるぞ。つうか、会場が回ってても不思議じゃない。
じゃあ空が見えるとこはどう？
By the time we arrive at Midspire's higher level, the sun is already set.
ああ、夕暮れに間に合わなかったね。
Well, it was a fake sun anyway.
いいさ。どうせオレンジ色に濁った雲しか見れないんだし。
そのオレンジ色が見たかったんだけどな。
She takes a bottle out of one of her coat pockets. It's wine we got from a shop on the way here.
しかし、そんなに軽い酒でよかったのか？ウォッカをガブ飲みにしてたくせに。
今日はまだこうを酔いつぶしたくないしね。それにこのラベルを見たら懐かしくなってさ。
そういえばこれ、空がジュースと間違えて一気飲みしたやつだよな。
Chinatsu nods and pours the crimson liquid into the glasses we borrowed.
マサの弔いをしてあげよう。私たちだけで。
ああ。
Morning, huh? We face each other and down the sweet drink.
こんなのでぶっ倒れるなんて、あいつもまだまだ学生だったんだな。
空の場合、酒を飲んだ行為だけで酔っ払いそうだからね。
Then, for no reason at all, we start talking about Seishu and Masa.
そういえば、あいつ、菜の葉に気があったんだよな。あれって一体どうなったんだっけ？
I never expected to get a chance to talk about those days like this.
知らないっていうか、忘れたの？マサってばごめんなさいされちゃったんだよ。
そうだったっけ？
まあマサは引き際がいいし後腐れがないからあまり大した騒ぎにはならなかったけどね。
The reason why we can have this talk is probably Chinatsu. When with her, I feel like I can just freely speak about everything painful and fun.
私、あんたとの関係について菜の葉と二人っきりで話したことがあるよ。
Before long, we began talking about the past.
お互い焦らずに競い合おうって。まだ学園生活は始まったばかりだし、自分の気持ちもよく分かってなかったし。そうしたら空とあんたが接近してトンビに油揚げをさらわれたような気分だったな。
Even as I listen to her, I can't remember exactly what brought me and Sora together. I mean, me too. From all the flashbacks we keep having, I really don't like Sora. I do remember that my feelings suddenly changed sometime during my school years. But that vague memory feels somewhat bitter.
そのことも忘れちゃったんだね。
どうやらそうらしい。一体何があったか教えてくれないか？
それは絶対に嫌。
She sticks out her tongue.
なんでだよ。
正気？なんで振られた原因を話さなくちゃいけないのやら。
まあそうかもしれないけど。
それにあの件がなければ空とあんたの関係が変わることもなかったから。
But what is it?
もう嫌だよ。あんな思いをするのはさ。
Chinatsu turns gloomy and gently leans on me. The weight of her body fills my heart, but I sincerely think it'd be better if she didn't have her heavy coat. Then again, even if she took it off, her body wouldn't feel the weight.
こうしているとコウに抱きついてた時のことを思い出すよ。
As if she can feel what I do, she pushes herself against me.
コウは確 しか覚えていないんだよね。仮想の浜辺で何があったのか。
Is Ku gonna give me, you know, the flashback I need to remember this?
ああ、いや、待て。浜辺って言えば確か。そうだ。あれって倉浜に行った時に。
そうだよ。あの時も夜になって行き場がなくなって、それでネットカフェに行ってさ。
Her words make the details of the date come back to me. Oh yeah, back then we were under the shining sun.
結局行くところはここかよ。
Okay, I'm trying to see whether or not this is a flashback that's given to us by Agent. It always feels like when it's a flashback, usually you would hear that static voice, right? Or static noise. But maybe this one is actually not from Agent.
アキ先輩からの誕生日プレゼント。どうせならコウと一緒に来たかったんだ。
With the virtual sun behind her, Chinatsu, clad in a bikini, smiles at me. She's dazzling in more ways than one, and I can't help but look away.
しかしここに来るなら寮からだってダイブできたんじゃないか。
それはそれ、これはこれだよ。
Yeah, see, Japan really loves that saying, don't they? She starts her warm-up exercises. Man, her limbs are really slender. There's some real beauty in her toned curves, too.
別に目を背けなくてもいいよ。私だって嫌ならビキニなんて着ないし。
だからって頬を赤くしながら言われても困る。
それはそれ、これはこれ。
Chinatsu continues her warm-up exercises right before my eyes. She stretches her tendons, twists her waist.
私、両親に感謝してるんだ。
Is it just me, or is she actually showing off her legs and curves? Not knowing where to look, I look at her face, and her rosy cheeks make my heart skip a beat.
私、自分の体も顔も名前も大好き。こんなのナルシストみたいでちょっと後ろめたいけど。
They forgot to put the name there. She loves her name too.
いや、千夏は確かに綺麗だからな。妙に謙遜するのも変だし、自慢タラタラじゃなきゃいいと思う。
Even I feel that my response is stupidly dry.
ありがとう。ちなみに私はコウもマサもいい男だと思うよ。
お世辞でも感謝するよ。確かにマサはそれなりだと思うけど。
お世辞じゃないってば。綺麗とかブサイクとかそんなんじゃなくて、なんて言えばいいのかな。
She stops warming up and bends in a way that makes her face take over most of my vision.
さあ、コウの顔って結構お気に入り。
そうか。そりゃよかった。
I feel like something bad will happen if I let her handle the flow like this. I gotta get a grip.
で、そろそろ要件を聞かせてくれないか。こうしていても気になって仕方がないぜ。
はあ、せっかちだな、コウってば。
She sighs at me and goes a short distance away before stretching her back and looking at the fabricated horizon.
あのね、コウ。ここにあんたを連れてきた理由はね。
理由は？
最初のデートで連れてきてくれた場所だから。最後のデートもここで締めくくりたかったからだよ。
Oh, I'm guessing the scholarship is gone?
え？最後って？
What does she mean?
私さ、寮出ていくかもしれなくて、学園も辞めちゃうかもしれなくって。
そんな。
But why? I want to ask that aloud, but the words get stuck in my throat.
もし辞めるって言ったらどうする？
どうするもこうするも。一体どうして？
Chinatsu may be gone. Just considering that fills my heart with an unimaginable sense of loss.
実はね、辞めないよ。嘘だよ。だからそんな顔しないで、ボス。
Okay. I mean, I do like Chinatsu, but I don't like him in the way that Ko likes Chinatsu, right? So I really wasn't feeling anything even after finding out this is a joke. I fell for it. I actually let her mess with me again.
てめえ、毎度毎度からかいやがって。いい加減にしろよ。今回ばかりはタチが悪すぎるぞ。
I mean, for all we know, she might not be joking. She might actually be lying about this. Before I know it, I'm chasing after her with all I've got.
いい加減にしないとなんだっての悔しかったら反撃してみろ
She's as fast as always and laughs like she doesn't care about how she made me feel just now. I won't calm down until I do something to her in return. Letting my anger take over, I chase after her through the virtual beach.
ほらほら追いついたらご褒美あげちゃうぞ
てめえ、待て。あのな、俺は真面目にだな。
Serious about what though? When she said she would be gone, I was shocked. And when she revealed she wasn't serious, I both calmed down and became pissed then. I started laughing for some reason. Man, am I glad she was just joking. I'm pissed, but I'm also having tons of fun. It feels like the time I spend with her is always good for no apparent reason at all.
やっと捕まえた。
話してよスケベ
Yeah, why would you actually catch someone in this way? We play around like kids and wrestle while completely forgetting that I'm a guy and she's a girl. Chinatsu's smile vanishes. Now I finally realize that I'm pinning her down on the ground. What's with her expression? Why do her eyes look so sad? I should just get up. I try to do just that, but she grabs me by the hand and stops me.
待ってこう
With my body over hers, we just look at each other. My heart starts beating fast again.
追いついたご褒美欲しくないそれかこうからかったお仕置きでもいいよ
またかよ。その手にはもう引っかからないぞ。
こう私が全部冗談で全部平気で抱きついたりしてると思っているその顔からすれば思い出してくれたみたいだね
Yeah, there's that static noise again though. Which really makes me think that all this time the flashbacks really are just given to us by Agent. I have an inkling that's what's going on. I don't trust our flashbacks. Though I'm still a bit out of it, my consciousness returns to reality.
何かをあからめているのさあれはもう何年も前の出来事なのに
そうは思えないんだよな。俺の主治医は記憶粗行とか言ってたけど。
何その記憶粗行って
それがな。
I pick the right words and tell her about flashbacks.
そうかこうもそうだったんだね
Yeah, so it's not just to me, huh? Thank you, Chinatsu. All this time. Well, in Rain's route, Rain was also talking about, being given dreams for her past, right? So it's been a long time though since I talked about this too. So for sure, Agent is giving us these memories about each other to reinforce what's going on in the route. She's kind of forcing us to go to these routes. After she finished listening, Chinatsu heaved a helpless sigh.
もってどういうことだ？
あんたと再会してからさやけに昔の夢を見るようになってさそれも嫌になるぐらいリアルな夢でさだから最初はあんたの顔を見るのが嫌だったせっかく塞がった傷口をまた広げられているみたいでさあんたのことなんか忘れてやっと思い出さなくなったのに
And so, a brief silence falls around us. Yeah, not sure why we open old wounds, Chinatsu. Not sure why. But maybe the key to being totally healed is from the open wound. Now, how do I break it? As I look for the right words, Chinatsu starts talking first.
あのさ、残ってくれてありがとう。
礼を言われることじゃない。残ったのは俺の意志だ。
でも、どうして残ってくれたのさ。コウはまだアークを信じているんだよね。
長官にも同じことを聞かれたよ。
で、どう答えたの？
極めて個人的な理由です。胸を張って長官殿にお話しできるようなものではありません。
そっか。胸を張れない理由か。
She doesn't have to say anything. Her look tells me that she's dying to know what it is. Back then, I wouldn't have said anything because I would have been too afraid of rejection. But now...
お前が気になって残ったんだよ。女のために舞台を捨てちまったみたいなもんだ。
ごめん、コウ。
She brings her lip closer and kisses my cheek.
ごめん。コウの気持ちは分かっているよ。気分的には敵前逃亡したような気分なんだろう。これが他人だったらバカ野郎っていうようなことを私は一番大事な男友達にさせちゃったんだ。
バカ野郎は遠回しにレインが言ってくれたよ。
そっか。
それにいいんだよ。惚れた女、いや惚れ直した女のために敵前逃亡するのも悪くない。
I spoke those words nonchalantly, but now I realize just how heavy they were. Chinatsu doesn't know how to respond and clings to me so tightly that it hurts.
本当に意地悪だよ。あんた。
Her eyes are damp. They aren't supposed to shed tears, but they look like they're about to do just that. It makes my heart ache. I feel like I just found something precious that I'd lost once.
軽口にしても意地悪だよ。あんた、自分が振った女によくそんなこと言えるよね。
言い訳になってしまうが、俺はお前を振った記憶がないんだ。
I'm really curious about that thing with Sora that makes us like her more than Chinatsu. It just doesn't make sense to me. It still doesn't.
だから自分がどうしてそんなことをしたのかわからない。それにまんざら軽口ってわけでもないさ。俺は
それ以上は何も言わなくていいよ。
Chinatsu suddenly brings her face close. Despite being a cyborg, she has the same nostalgic taste. It's so sweet that it blows away my surprise. Her lips are as soft as they were back then. Her sweet taste and pleasant scent haven't changed at all. This is so nostalgic that I'm almost crying, and so pleasant that I feel like my head's melting. Chinatsu distances her lips with a sigh that tickles my face.
千夏。
I open my eyes to see her looking down in a sad manner. Is it because she can't feel the kiss too well? The idea makes the joy wane. Chinatsu suddenly kisses me again, desperately pushing her softness on me. Her painfully earnest kiss continues. She doesn't even let me catch my breath. Our lips finally part. Hoping that she's not making a sad face again, I muster my courage and open my eyes.
体は擬態でも脳みそはまだ女だよ。
She's making a bashful smile this time. There's no need for any more words. I extend my hand to her and she grasps it back.
ねえ、コウは忘れてるんだっけ？あの時のデートで こうやってキスしたこと。
Her ragged voice opens the door to my memories again.
こう、私が全部冗談で、全部平気で抱きついたりしてると思っている？
I gulp and silently wait for her to say, aha, of course I'm joking or something. Instead, I get a light kiss.
確かに最初はすごく軽い気持ちだったんだよね。
千夏。
ねえこう、聞いていい？どうして私を何回も助けてくれたの？
She stares at me with a serious look in her eyes. I can almost see myself reflected in them.
そんなの前も言っただろ。理由なんかねえよ。普通はほっとけないだろ。
だよね。私だってきっと理由なんかないんだ。
I mean, it's because I know you. It's because you're my friend. She kisses me again. This one is a bit longer than last, letting us both get a taste of the sensation. With short breaths, Chinatsu distances her lips, slowly opens her eyelids, and looks at me with her damp eyes.
いや、理由できちゃったかな。ううん。最初からそうだったのかもね。
I feel her exhale as she passionately whispers to me. Our chests are right next to each other, and I can easily feel her heartbeat.
この前のキスだって軽い気持ちだったんだよ。なのに唇が触れたらもう訳がわからなくなっちゃって。
My own heart is beating so fast that I feel it might burst. My head is heating up, and I feel an absurd excitement coming from deep inside.
本当に最初は軽い気持ちだったのに。
She brings her lips close again. This time I part my lips myself and push my mouth against hers. Our tongues touch. We momentarily pull them back before closing them in again. As if led by something, we let our tongues intertwine. Chinatsu's tongue is way too sweet, and our mixing breath is far too hot. We continue kissing for what feels like hours. Seriously, the joy and pleasure are so good that I can't count the seconds. Our lips part and the flow of time resumes.
やっぱり後悔なんかしてないよ。
With her face all red, Chinatsu giggles in a bashful manner.
これってきっと好きってことなんだね。こうと一緒だと楽しくて、もっと一緒にいたくて。
Who knows? I've also never felt anything like so, Chinatsu. Something hot overwhelms my head and heart, making me unable to respond. I see a bit of worry start to show in her face.
こうは違う？
いや、俺もこうしてて楽しいし、さっきからもう心臓が止まりそうだし。
I'm so disoriented that even I don't know what I'm saying.
嬉しい。本当に嬉しい。
I return to reality to find more of the sweet sensation. Just like that time, my body is filled with a heat too great to bear.
こう、私、あの時からやり直したい。なのに、私、もうどうしていいのかわからないよ。
Chinatsu's body is lightly shaking, and she squints her eyes in desperation and pain.
くそ！ちくしょう！ちくしょう！
She lets out an outburst of curses.
てるのに。畜生。このポンコツの体ってば、本当にどうにもならないよ。
It's not about the act itself, though, Chinatsu. It's about the emotion we feel, though, right?
千夏。
こう。やっぱり会わなきゃよかった。気持ちだけ戻っても、私この温かさを感じられない。
I actually feel like this is a lot more shallow than what it's trying to portray. If your feelings are returned, isn't that good enough? You don't need the sense of touch if your brain can feel it, don't you? That's how I see it anyway. Like, you don't even need to do anything with your body. But I don't see sex as an act of love, though. That's the difference between me and a lot of people, right?
畜生。私、一体どうしたらいいんだよ。
千夏。
I can't take it anymore. I tightly embrace her and initiate my own kiss this time. Her cyborg body is squirming. Eventually, her body is freed of all strain.
ありがとう。こんなに落ち着くの、擬態になってから初めてだよ。
だったら何度だってキスしてやるさ。
お願い。もっとこう感じたい。
I'll do everything to help her find peace. With that in mind, I kissed her once again.
行こうか。
With our shoulders touching each other, we walk out of the upper level of the mid-spire. We hurry back, take off our shoes, and go inside. I can't hold myself back for even a second more. If this is an H scene, I'm probably not gonna voice act it. I still feel like I'm not really comfortable with like lovey-dovey H scenes, guys. I thought at first it was because I thought of myself as like a third wheel, but it's not that. I'm actually uncomfortable with the you know, like with the like affection that they're trying to show to each other. Like if I'm actually listening, I don't accept those emotions, you know. We jump onto the sofa and kiss.
こう。
She moans and presents her chest to me. I reach for it and unzip her bodysuit. But yeah, for people on YouTube, patreon.com/Azaikyousuke. It's been a long time since I said that. But for people on Patreon, hope you guys enjoy. I will be, I don't know, I'll be probably watching a video on YouTube or something. Or maybe go to the bathroom real quick. So, see ya. I thought they were actually going to still keep continuing, but Chinatsu decided to cry after what happened, so I was like still here throughout like the scene. I was just like browsing my phone. It was an okay scene, but yeah. I really think that I don't know. Like these scenes, I feel like the only scenes where I was super comfortable is when I was like voice acting rants, because I know that I was role playing during that time. And for the most part, also in Amayui where it was Alvaro and Fia. I don't know. I feel like in like Amayui's case, I really felt like I could relate to Alvaro. But in this one, I definitely don't relate to what is it, like Ko, right? So it just didn't feel right for me to voice act the scene. But yeah, we're back here. Her cries are full of pain, and yet her cyborg eyes don't show a single tear. Hearing her makes my heart hurt. I tightly embrace her and pat her head with all the kindness I can muster. Someone's gently caressing my head.
ごめん。起こしちゃったね。
She cried after she came, by the way. I don't know why that happened. They were sharing their sense of touch via their neurojack. Because the sharing senses thing doesn't just it's a retroactive thing, right? So Ko understands what she's feeling, and she understands what Ko is feeling, so she wants to limit just how much Ko is feeling, basically. I open my eyes to see Chinatsu smiling at me. Looks like I dozed off while embracing Chinatsu as she cried. She forms a faint grin and brings herself closer to me.
ごめんね。つい夢中になっちゃって。
何を謝っているんだよ。どうせなら気持ちよかっただろうって勝ち誇ってくれ。
Though we just had some intense intercourse, her skin is still cold and dry. That pains me a little bit, compelling me to embrace her small body.
でも私本当に嬉しかった。信じちゃくれないかもしれないけど、本当だよ。
わかってるさ、千夏。
In fact, it kinda hurts me that she's looking so fulfilled when I'm the only one who was actually pleased here.
なあ、千夏。擬態の件なんだけど。
Her expression quickly turns gloomy.
お前が嫌がるのは分かってるけど、やっぱり見ていて辛いんだ。せめて擬態をもう少し奮発してもらえばどうなんだ。そしたら感覚器官だってもっとマシなのが。
獅子と眼球だけで600万クレジット。この擬態は最高級品。売り文句じゃリアルボディと変わらない感覚があるはずなんだ。
じゃあ
原因は擬態じゃないんだ。
Her displeased eyes suddenly show a hint of sadness. I can more or less understand what she's getting at. Is it her actual, like, feelings and emotions that are influencing it then?
カウンセリングは受けていないのか。
私も最初は心理的なものと思っていた。けど違うんだ。どうやら私の体はどこか狂っちゃったみたい。
Real body? Since she's a cyborg, that can only mean her brain.
私ね、匂いも味も肌触りもみんな鈍くて。
つまり感じないのか。
うん。感じることは感じるけど、なんか異様な感覚なんだ。
Well, this makes it seem a lot more believable than it being a mental thing. I mean, if her whole body is only the brain left, of course, there would be some physical problems that cause you to not feel anything, right? It's a lot more believable in my opinion.
甘いものを食べれば舌が甘いって感じるけど、今の私はその甘いってのがいまいち理解できないんだ。時々甘いんだか辛いんだかわからなくなる。だからこの前みたいな失敗をやらかしちゃうんだ。
この前の失敗ってパスタのことか。
やっぱそっか。相変わらずだね。こうの目は正直すぎるよ。
So that's why the pasta was tasteless. She tried to use her messed up senses to try and understand the taste, trying it over and over and...
だから仮想にも逃げ場がないんだ。 アーバルシティに行った時は気が狂うかと思ったよ。
And that's why Chinatsu cried back then. She was surrounded by familiar scenes, but her brain couldn't feel it properly.
気がつかなかった。お前がそんな状況に陥っているなんて。
分かられちゃ困るよ。同情されて生きるのなんて、そんなの私が耐えられない。
I agree with that too.
それにちゃんとね、心の中には感覚の記憶が残ってる。甘かった記憶も辛かった記憶も、もちろん香の匂いも感触もね。
She gives me a tight embrace.
だから抱きしめてくれると香の匂いや温かさをはっきり思い出せて幸せなんだ。今日は香のおかげで幸せだった。まさかいけるなんて思ってもいなかったよ。
I embrace her back. That's about all I can do for her.
ごめんな。辛い話をさせちゃって。
いいよ、いつかは話そうと思ってたし、ぶちまけてすっきりしちゃった。言い出すきっかけを作ってくれてありがとう。
Chinatsu kisses me again. Her lips have a slightly sad taste.
今日は本当に楽しかった。私、今日のことは絶対に忘れないよ。
So it left that big of an impression on her. I think now I see why she invited me on a date and why she did her best to act cheerful.
作戦が迫っているんだな。
ニプチンのくせに妙なとこで勘がいいんだよね、あんたって。
そりゃお互い様だ。
いよいよね、作戦が始まるんだ。ドミニオンのアジトが見つかって、いよいよ総攻撃をかけることになったの。
There hasn't been a single singularity in this route. I'm guessing the singularity is gonna be just the same like in Rain's route, which is at the very end. Chinatsu bends a bit forward. Her eyes show a light unlike the one from before.
安心して、先生は私らが捕まえる。最低でもアセン村は力葬ってやる。
そうか。必ず戻ってこいよ。俺は待つことしかできないから。
Wait, we're not going with her?
ああ、約束するよ、こう。私、あんたのために必ず勝って帰ってくる。
We sealed the promise with another long kiss. Okay, that is the end of the chapter. I'm gonna go like for one more. Yeah, I'll probably go for a bit more here. That 8 scene was quite long, maybe about 20 to 30 minutes, which is quite rare for an 8 scene in this game. By the time we returned to Seishu, it was already past midnight.
終電間に合ってよかったね。
So this is after the virtual beach date.
ああ、
Barely talking, we walk on the school road.
やっぱ怒ってるよね。
まあ
Oh,
な。
sorry about that.
だけど、怒っている原因はお前が想像しているのとは違う。
だったらはっきり理由を言って。私バカだからちゃんと言わないとわかんないよ。
だったら言うけど、お前、やっぱり何か困ってるんだろ。どうしたんだよ、水臭い。明るくて屈託がないのがお前の取り柄だろうに。
だって
もしかして、お前、学園を辞めるかもしれないって言ってたけど、あれ冗談じゃなかったんじゃないか？
I got it right. Chinatsu makes a gloomy expression.
なんでまた一体、どうしていきなり急にそんな。
落ち着きなって。まだかもしれないってだけだからさ。
ひょっとしてレギュラー落ちが原因か？
あれがとどめの一撃かもしれないけど、実は知り合う前にもうやめるのを考えていたんだ。
She turns melancholic and looks up at the starry sky. Her problems might be even worse than I thought.
わけを話してくれるな。
疲れちゃったんだ私。前も言ったけど、私ここ数年はずっと走りっぱなしなんだ。他のことは投げ捨てて春夏秋冬ずっと走りっぱなし。
だからこそレギュラーでいられたんだろ。
そうかもしれないけど、ただ走っても意味はないから。時間いっぱいグラウンドを走り回るのがサッカーだけどさ、私が一人で走ってもそれじゃチームは勝てなくて。けれど仮にみんなが一緒に走れたとしても、やっぱり一等賞にはなれなくて。それなのに私たちは大切な時間を捧げ続けちゃってるんだぞ。
でもお前好きだろ、サッカー。走るのだって好きなんだろ。
そうだよ、それに分かってる。私だってこんなめめしいことは言いたくない。自分のために頑張ってるんだし、人の目なんか関係ないって。だから必死で頑張ってきた。私のこの足を生かして学園でやっていけるならこんな結構な話はないって。けどね、足がもう嫌だって言ってるんだ。私の足無理させすぎて悲鳴を上げているんだ。
以前の仮装でのダメージがそんなに重く残ってるのか。
ううん、その前からだよ。練習で無理しすぎるって前々からお医者さんには叱られてたんだ。それがこの前のあれでとどめ刺されちゃったみたい。この先無茶をしたら筋組織の蘇生処置を受けなくちゃいけなくなるかもしれないって。
そうなったらピュアでの出場資格をなくす。だから特待生の資格も打ち切りってことか。
I see. I mean, you need to push yourself very, very hard, right? But you also need to understand just to pace yourself. I think that's also things that people don't understand when they go to the gym too. Sometimes you don't necessarily pace yourself or understand how to actually improve, right? And mostly gauge yourself using like whether you're feeling good or not at that current day.
そうなる可能性は高いみたい。
You need to push yourself, you need to do your best, but you also need to understand that, you know, our body needs to rest up and recover, right? Her sad smile fills me with unease. I can't sit around and do nothing about it, but I don't know what to do either.
ごめん、千夏。まさかそんなことになってるなんて。
Soccer is a different thing compared to the gym, though. Like, basically every sport is different compared to the gym. The gym, all you need is 2 to 3 hours well, not every single day. I go 5 times a week, right? But when it comes to like sports, sometimes you have to practice your technique, not just your physique. You need to practice lots of things.
自己責任だよ。それにこう私をかばって必死に戦ってくれたじゃないの。
She gently pats me on the back. The amount of power she puts into it is so precise that it almost makes me cry.
実は春先にも一度足を壊しかけているんだ。コーと最初にデートに行ったのもそれで部活を休んだ頃だよ。
I suddenly remember what she said when we met in class.
シュミクラムってさ、動かすのに遺伝子がどうのこうのとか関係あるのかな。頑張れば普通の人でも努力が報われたりするのかな。
Do they get rewarded, huh? So that's why she asked those questions.
あれからずっと楽しかった。コウと一緒に戦うのも、如月寮での生活も、コウが意識してくれるのも嬉しくて。だから私も
She suddenly falls silent, as if saying more would be embarrassing. Seeing her like that moves my heart so much I find it weird.
とにかくそれで気づいちゃったんだ。いつの間にか私走るのが嫌いになってるって。こんな気持ちじゃ続かない。人生のポイントを切り替えるなら今かなって。どうせ生身じゃ選手としての未来もないしね。
だからって学園まで辞めなくてもいいだろ。部を辞めたからって学園をクビになるわけじゃないし。
青春の学費ってそこそこ高いんだよ。うちは貧乏子だくさんなのに余計な金は使わせられないって。弟たちの方が私よりよっぽど頭がいいし、きっと勉強すれば私なんかより出世してくれるよ。
あのな、お前だってセカンドだぞ。このまま卒業すれば他の連中より有利な立場で就職を。
それまで効果学費出してくれる？
Yeah, what a very real thing to say.
そりゃ無理だけど。
冗談だよ。そんなことが仮にできても今度私が許せない。
She raises her finger and pokes my
あ
nose.
りがとう、こうぶちまけてすっきりしちゃったよ。
ぶちまけられた俺はすっきりしねえよ。で、学園を辞めてどうするつもりなんだ？
苦学生してでも通える学園を探すよ。いざとなれば就職してネットの学園に行ってもいいしね。ただそうなったら青春からは離れなきゃいけないし、コートももう一緒にはいられないし。だからごめんね。最後に思い出が欲しかったんだ。だから
あのな、勝手に思い出にするんじゃねえよ。
The idea that she may be gone makes me feel something I can't bear.
それに離れるって言ったって、俺たちはネットで24時間つながっているんだし、それに俺とお前は。
Was I about to say we can still keep going out? Even though she's not my girlfriend?
うん。あんたとこんなに相性がいいって最初会った時は想像もしてなかったよ。
Chinatsu nods with a sad smile on her face.
春先部活を休んだ時に思ったんだ。私デートの一つもしてないのにもう世間でいう思春期の大半が終わっちゃってるって。
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
それで落ち込んでいた時、教室で没入しているあんたの姿を見かけたんだ。じゃあ比較のためにつまらない男が退屈なデートに誘ってよ。最初はすごく軽い気分だった。正直期待もしてなかった。なのにデートは思ったよりも楽しくて、あんたは私をかばって血まみれになってくれて。私誰かにかばわれるなんてまっぴらとか思ってたはずなんだけどさ。だからかばわれてジーンとしちゃうなんて思わなかった。しかもこれで2回目だもんね。それでこんなの柄じゃないって分かってるけど、それでもね、やっぱりね。
Chinatsu forms a bashful smile. She likes me and yet she's trying to part ways with me.
とにかくありがとう。コウのおかげで踏ん切りがついちゃった。
勝手に踏ん切りなんかつけるなよ。俺はだな、多分お前を。
Before I can say it, she pushes her finger against my lip.
気持ちなんか聞くまでもない。というか言わない方がいいと思うんだ。もう思い出にするしかなくなっちゃうんだから。
だからなんで勝手に終わらせるんだよ。お互いに気持ちを言い合ってそこから始めるものだろ。
It should be.
でももう同じ時間は過ごせない。そんな状況で誰かさんに勝てる自信はないよ。
誰かって菜の葉のことか？
菜の葉もかな。
She winks meaningfully.
気のせいかな。私ね、空とこうがネットで密会しているのを何度も見ているんだ。
あれは
If I say she's wrong, it'll seem like nothing but an excuse. Even so, I can't tell her about Ku just to clear this up.
いいよ、何も言わなくても。恋愛は真剣勝負。こそこそしてるのは気に入らないけど。私も頑張ったんだけどな。私の武器はこの体と図太さだけだからね。
Sora knows about Ku and Makoto knows about Ku, right? I don't know, I feel like this not giving people info about Ku is kind of getting on my nerves. I don't think Sora even know that Arc made her simulacra in like on Ku. So, I don't know. I don't like this plot point. So she knows about my and Ku's secret meetings and thinks that I'm actually in a relationship with Sora.
それであんなに挑発してきたのか。何がずぶといもんか。毎度顔を真っ赤にしてたくせに。
やっと気づいてくれたか、北年人。勇気を出してみたけど惹かれちゃっただけだったしね。
バカ。お前の誘惑のおかげで俺が幾晩悩ましい夜を過ごしたと思ってる。
そうなんだ。そりゃあ頑張った甲斐が。
I grab her hand, which makes her go silent. She was desperate in her own way, so I have to become desperate myself.
前期はもちろん、今年ぐらいはなんとかなるよな。
うん、そりゃ多分。
だったら結論を急ぐなって。せめて今年残り半分だけ時間の猶予をくれ。
I can't keep hiding Ku anymore. The misunderstandings just keep piling up and making matters worse. I also have to find a way to keep Chinatsu from leaving school. And also, I need to figure out how I really feel.
でも学費が。
俺が何とかする。できないかもしれないけど、もう少し待ってろ。なんとか策を見つけ出してみせるから。
Very irresponsible of you to say that, Carol.
いいの？
But I guess sometimes when you want to reassure people, you gotta be that stupid, huh? I still don't think that's me though. I don't think I can just confidently put on such a bravado like that.
それを私に信じさせちゃったらお互いに引き返せなくなっちゃうかもよ。今なら単なる女友達。
構うもんか。俺を。
She puts her finger on my lip once again.
ありがとう。嬉しいから。だから結論を急ぐな、門倉子。すぐ熱くなるのは好きだけど、今はダメだよ。
I still have no fucking idea how the hell we, like, pivoted to Sora after all this. I don't understand. How? What scene could make me pivot to Sora after this?
千夏。
今は私に同情してくれてる。そんな状態で菜の葉や空に勝っても私が許せない。まだ心を決めかねているんだよね、こうは。だったら私は待つよ。こうの気持ちが整理できるまで。
ごめん、優柔不断で。
バカ、こんなことを即決されてたまるかっていうの。ちゃんと菜の葉や空のことも考えてやりなよ。
She gives me a full smile, which helps me feel a bit better.
お前っていい女だったんだな。
やっとわかったか、門倉子。
Alright, I think this is actually gonna be where I call it an episode though. It's kind of a bit shorter from, the typical episodes, but it is getting a bit late. 7:20 p.m. and I do need to get some food. I'll probably be recording some more, or not recording, but playing some more Amayui before I go to bed though. Just trying to get to, the new stuff that I can record. But yeah, I actually do think the the characterization for Chinatsu is pretty damn well done. I don't think I really dislike her as much as I do, like, let's say, Nanoha, right? I kind of shit on Nanoha a lot in her route. Rain, after like seeing her interactions in the other routes, I actually do feel kind of bad towards her too. But in her route, I still stand by what I said. But yeah, so far, Chinatsu is probably the only like heroine that I kind of feel invested in, right? But yeah, I still don't think I like 8 scenes though. At least those types. I don't know. I really do think that the 8 scenes in Amayui with Fia was just something that I really was able to like. Maybe because, like I said, I identify as the main character quite a lot, unlike in this one. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Give this video a like if you guys like it. Sub if you guys haven't. Patreon will be getting these episodes early access along with everything uncensored. YouTube members will be getting these early access, but nothing uncensored. And it was a pretty lengthy 8 scene for you guys on YouTube. If you guys want to see that, go to Patreon. Also, for people on YouTube that aren't on Patreon just yet, feel free to become a free member because that's going to be where I put first episode previews of future playthroughs. Alright, I'll see you guys on the next one.